All right, welcome. I hope everybody watched the State of the Union. Trump did excellent. I really think with what he had to deal with, he kept his temper. He was very professional. He covered all the important parts, proved some things that people needed to see or hear. Um, for the most part, Trump did awesome. The Democrats have lost their damn minds. The Democrats are gone. They're crazy. Trump is right. Those people are crazy. Um, I mean, how do you not stand for a little girl? That girl's 5 years old. I guess the same way that they didn't stand last year for the little boy that had cancer. But everybody thinks it's a show, but maybe it's not. Maybe these people are like being honest with you and letting you know, hey, we really don't care about that little girl. We really don't care about that little girl. We care about the immigrant that was driving the truck that hit her, but we don't really care about that girl. Um, I think they hate America. It's just they hate America. They don't hate America. I take that back. They love all the freedoms. They love all the good stuff that goes on here. What they don't love is that they don't run things and things don't go exactly how they want it to. They're horrible losers. They cannot lose an election. If they lose an election, they lose their minds. Um, it's impossible for them to have lost. It was rigged. You know, anything, anything. They didn't say it this year because when that many people, they said it like Trump. I mean, he won not only in the electoral, but he won in the popular or not the popular. He won in the population vote. We the people voted Donald J. Trump into office by majority. Now that doesn't mean that everybody out there voted for him, which I understand. But I didn't vote for Biden. And at least you don't have to watch a guy sleep for 4 years. And sometimes he gets to do it on the beach. Biden was sleeping on the beach for 4 years. The man did absolutely nothing. I mean, Trump's done more in the year, 2 years, whatever it's been, that he's been in office. He's like double the workload that Sleepy Joe did. The Democrats they want a one party. They want one party. So basically, what they want to do is they're going to cheat, lie, cheat, steal, do whatever they got to do to win to the point to where they've got so much power that they can cheat and stay in power, and then it's just Democrats running it. And if that's the case, then it won't be America because it'll be socialistic. Uh, Minorities will be running the majority. It won't work. It won't be America, which means it probably won't happen, not peacefully anyway. So they let the border open. They left the border open for 4 years. For 4 years, they let thousands, tens of thousands of people in a day. Just crazy numbers. I mean, I live here in Texas, so we were seeing it before it was national news. I want to give him a prop. I really want to give a shout out to the governor, Greg Abbott. That gentleman right there is what saved America from having this invasion. If we would have had a Texas governor that would have just taken on the problem and tried to solve it himself, or just sit back and sent letters and accepted the fact that no one wanted to help Texas. They wanted them all here. They didn't want to help us. So Greg said, that's no problem. I'll send them to you. And that made immigration a national issue. That made immigration one of the issues that got Donald J. Trump elected the second time. So why would you do that? Why, if you're a Democrat, how do you benefit? How do you benefit from it? How do you? I mean, how how does that benefit you to open a border and let all these people in? Well, it's very simple. They figured out that we elected Donald Trump by majority, popular vote, whole 9 yards. We elected Trump, and the way they see it is, if we could do that, well, I mean, we've lost our minds, so now we got to bring people in. They're going to bring people in, and one of the fastest ways right now, until the Save Act. Now, the Save America Act is very, very important because basically it's going to keep all these people that they let in from voting. And I'm about to explain why that's important. It's because that's their plan. They don't like the Americans that voted for Trump. They think of us as unfixable. So therefore, they've got to get rid of us. Not in the physical manner. They're not going to kill us or anything. They're just going to make us politically worthless, politically null and void. And the way they do that is by letting in millions of people illegally and then sending them all over the country. Now, I know Greg did it first, but he didn't send them all over the country. He sent them to the people that said they wanted them. And then from there, they started sending them all over the country, granted, to other sanctuary cities that now are glad that they're not a sanctuary city. So they send them all over, and a lot of these states allowed them to get driver's licenses. Once you get your driver's license, it asks you on your form, or at least here in Texas it does, do you want to register to vote? Now, never caught it before, but it does not actually ask me at anywhere on there, are you a citizen? Sometimes I might take that for granted, so I never looked. But so if they check yes, they can vote. Their name will be on the list. And until somebody audits it and looks at it and says, wait, you're not a citizen, or wait, come in, we're going to need you to prove to us that you're a citizen, which is what they're complaining about right now. The Democrats want to make it seem like it is so hard. First of all, if you don't know where your birth certificate is and you're a grown adult, then you're in trouble. You need to file. You need to find out how to get one. It's not hard. You got a smartphone. I heard a lady once say something very, very so brilliant. You can't be a dumbass with a smartphone in your hand. In other words, you can't say, I don't know, with any kind of phone you buy today. All you have to do is pick up your phone and say, I need my birth certificate. Some of the phones you can say a certain name. Mine's sitting next to me, so I'm not going to have her talking. But you say a certain name and then tell them what you need. So for the Democrats to say, oh, well, I think I heard Kamala say like something like 49% of Americans couldn't do it. You have to do it to get a driver's license. You've had to have already done it once. You have to have you have to have a birth certificate to get a driver's license. Now, in some states, obviously, at this point, now they're going to make it illegal. They're killing too many people. I know California's fighting back right now, but it ain't going to last long. Or if it is, it'll just be Californians they're killing because they be arrested at the state line if they come over here. Because Sean Duffy ain't having none of it. But so do you see what I'm saying now? So now we've got them here. They've got driver's license. They were giving them money, room and board, food, and they found the food wasted. They weren't even gracious enough to eat the food that we gave them. They complained and wanted more money so they could buy the kind of food that they liked. Now, I would like to travel back and we go back to, like, I say, I don't know, I say like 1810 to an Irish guy and tell him, hey, you're an immigrant. So I'm going to give you room and board. I'm going to give you food. Do you think he would trash the place and say the food sucked or not eat the food? No, no, he wouldn't, because they really wanted to be here. See, the problem is our immigration went from people that want a better life. They want to work hard to make a better life for themselves and their family and their children, and so on and so forth, to people that want to be here just because we're free. They do not want to have anything to do with our country as a culture. They do not want to have anything to do with learning our language. The only thing they want is to be free. That's it. They don't want anything but the freedom. We don't need citizens like that. For instance, and I know it's horrible, but facts are facts. And I'm not 100% on them, so I'm going to just kind of, you can check them. I'm not going to be far off. But the Somalis in Minnesota, high 70s, low 80 percentage on some form of welfare. Now, if I'm wrong, put it in the comments, because I don't like to say things that I'm not sure of. And I would have looked this up if I'd have known that I was going to bring this up. But if, if you're, and these are people that have been here for 10 years or more. And I know how you can find it. You can look up a Brandon Gill. He's the gentleman that I got the quote, that the first time that I saw it. Um, he's one of the representatives from Texas. He's a young guy. He's doing very, very well. Um, very calm, very collected. If you look him up, I'm sure you can find where he talks about these stats. But if that's the case, if you've been here for over 10 years and you're still on some form of government subsidy, I mean, why? I have lived here my whole life. I've been through some hard times, but I have never, ever just sat at home and let somebody pay my bills. That's not the American way. You have to work hard to get what you want. If you don't want to work hard, you don't have to work hard, but you ain't going to have nothing. So therefore, I don't think it should be the government's job to make sure you eat, because you just figure, well, good thing just going to fall in my lap. I just have to sit here in this chair to catch it. That's not the way the world works. And that's definitely not how America works. That's not how we want our freedom. That's not how we prove that we are the country to strive to be. That's not how it works. So, Democrats, I mean, and then, so now they've got them voting. Now we're defunding. Then let's talk about the defund the police, which it didn't work out for them, but it was something they tried while they were letting all these people in. They tried defunding the police, or maybe a little bit before they let all these people in. Um, what did it get? I mean, if it worked, then they'd still be defunding the police, because there's really no need to spend money you don't need to spend. But I think well, everybody that has a brain knows that to defund the police is the dumbest idea. I mean, that's a special kind of stupid. To think, well, I'm going to defund the people that I call only in emergencies. That's just, hey, when I need it the most, this is when I call these people, but I'm going to take away money from them so they're not there when I need them the most. Or it takes them forever to get to me when I need them the most. They're ploys, they're just stupid stunts. One thing that I'm interested to see is how they're going to react 28, and I'm saying this in jest, if Trump doesn't run for a third term. I don't think that Trump's going to run for a third term. I'm no expert. He may try, but he's got to change the Constitution. And I really think that it's going to be kind of hard to change something like that in the Constitution. I don't know that he could do it. I don't know if even Trump could do that. But these people for the last 20 years almost have had blinders, Trump blinders, everywhere they look. Everywhere they look. Oh, there's Trump. Oh, there's Trump. Oh, there's Trump. Bring him in for a hearing on Minnesota fraud. Minnesota fraud. President Trump had nothing to do with that. He wasn't even in Minnesota at that time. I'm just kidding. I don't know if he was or not. I know he doesn't have anything to do with the fraud. And still, every other person, which if you've ever watched a Congress, which means a Democrat, every Democrat has to mention Trump. They have to. It's the man lives rent free in the Democrats' head every day. That's all they think about. When they wake up in the morning, when he makes a decision, they have to figure out how that decision is bad, even if it's not really bad. I mean, like standing for American citizens as opposed to illegal immigrants. I mean, most American citizens would agree we'd rather you stand for us than for somebody who you just let in. We don't know nothing about. And the few people we learn about, now granted, the only reason we would learn about them is in the negative, but these people do some nasty things. I mean, we got people running up the National Guards members, shooting them in the head. Killing people on subways. I mean, in the very beginning in New York, it wasn't safe to walk down certain streets. It couldn't have been because they were riding around on mopeds and then they would just grab your bag. And if you got drugged down the road, then sorry about you. So they've done nothing. I mean, they've got Trump blinders on. That's it. I mean, they see nothing but Trump all the time. Nothing but Trump. um, the way they fought against ICE. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, not only for you to fight against ICE like you did, but then you want to turn around and make it seem like ICE is doing something wrong. First of all, the masks. I want to explain masks to any Democrat out there that does not get it. What they are doing are arresting the most dangerous people that got let in. Now, the cartels took advantage of the fact that our border was open, so they sent people over here. So these people work for the cartels. Not all of them, but some of these people are cartel members. And they look at your face and they take a picture of it, then they send it to their cartel, and the next thing you know, you got your wife getting death threats. That's why they wear masks. For you to ask a man to put his family's life on the line simply so you can get a few more votes is absolutely ridiculous and just falls in line with the fact that the Democrats are crazy. Trump has done it again. He's told us another truth. I mean, not only that, but with the SAVE Act, all the gaslighting you're doing. I mean, I know earlier I talked a little bit about, getting a birth certificate and all that. But I mean, you guys are trying to make it sound like it is impossible for people. And not only that, but it's, first of all, it's an 80-20. Why are you arguing it? I mean, a majority of people, this is a good thing. The people that vote for you, they want you to have this. They want to have this. You're not going to get in trouble if you vote for it. At least not from your constituents. But obviously, that's not who the Democrats are working for. They're not really working for their constituents until it's time to get the votes. And then all of a sudden, they want to jump in there and be all that. It's not that hard to prove you're a citizen. In Somalia, they require you to show an ID to vote. No joke. Look it up. These, I mean, the Democrat, I can't figure him out. I mean, and I can't figure him out, but to to know that a majority of Americans are going to tune in to the State of the Union. Now, to the real State of the Union. Anybody who did not watch the State of the Union, okay. Anybody that watched one of the fake attempts to emulate the Turning Point halftime show, it's not, I mean, what's the point? I mean, it's in the name of the speech. It's called the State of the Union. The president is there to tell you how our country's going. So if you don't agree with what the man is going to say, you don't watch. It's not a freaking Super Bowl halftime show. You can't just sub it out. Oh, well, hey, if you tune into channel 3500, I'll show you guys. I'll give you the State of the Union. I'm some washed up reporter that can't keep a job because I am not actually a reporter. I'm an activist. So, first of all, that's disrespectful to the country and to the office, not to the man in office. You guys are so blinded by your hatred for Trump, you don't think about what the hell you're doing. A lot of the things that you're trying are not, yes, they bother Trump, but it's disrespectful to the country, to the people that are in it, to the people that have died for it, to the people that are fighting right now to protect it, to the people that have protected it and have come home and are making families. I mean, so we'll stop talking about that because that's, I mean, it's spoiled child shit. You're acting like a spoiled kid, and you know what we do with spoiled kid? You throw it over your knee. You throw the kid over your knee, bust his ass, and teach him. So now all we got to do is figure out how Trump's going to put you over his knee, bust your ass, and teach you. And I'm hoping it's midterms. I hope the midterm elections show you guys, show the Democrats that they cannot do that. They can, I mean, they blatantly in your face, hey, we don't care about y'all. I'm trying to keep it kid friendly, so I'm not going to say what I really think, but that's what they said. I mean, Trump gave them plenty. Not only did he give him plenty of warning he was about to throw a bomb, but he gave them plenty of time while everybody else was clapping. If you watched it and you paid attention, then you realize that hey, Trump let that clap go on a lot longer than he did any others, and he just sit there and he looked at him trying to get them to stand up. I mean, basically save your party because now all you have is the far left fringe. You don't have the middle people. You don't have the independents. They're going to be a lot easier to sway when come election time they start running ads that show every Democrat in our government except for John Fetterman. I'm pretty sure John Fetterman didn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he stood up. But it's just going to kill you guys, or it should. Every American out there that sees that crap should, and not because of what you didn't stand up for, but simply because you are there for a show instead of to do your job. You want to insult an office instead of doing your job. You're there for a clip or a short. And I want to laugh because Mark Kelly got a good one. They got a good one of him looking like, oh, we made a bad decision. You can read it. You can see it. It's childish, spoiled children. Trump's going to, he'll learn you. Um, One of the funniest things of the evening, and I don't, before I say this, why it was there, I sympathize with. I don't really understand it, but I agree. And I mean, I kind of try and see what he was trying to do. But Al Green held up a sign that said, Black people aren't apes. But what Mr. Green didn't know is that his hand was covering the A in aren't. So his sign read to some people, Black people rent apes, which kind of makes no sense. I mean, even if you're talking racist, it don't make no sense. But it was, I mean, if you'd have seen it, it did look funny. Um, I understand where he's coming from. I don't think he should have went about it that way. But just so you know what it was all about, it was all about Trump sending out an email and somehow some attachment got added to it. And in the attachment, it did have Obama and the First Lady, Miss Obama, Barack and Michelle were portrayed, not really portrayed. They basically just put their face on apes' bodies. In the videos, not really defense because that is just a horrible choice, especially when you find out that they did things like they put um, Chuck Schumer as a zebra or a giraffe or something like that. He's a much better ape. You know, I mean, you got they had all of these other Democrats, and they just basically they'd put them all in. And Trump had, as soon as Trump found out about it, he took it off, and Al Green got mad because Trump didn't issue an apology. But Trump didn't do it. Trump didn't know about it until it was brought up to him. He didn't know about it. So why would he apologize? He didn't do it. Now, they did say that it was a mistake and that the mistake had been handled, which means probably somebody lost their job. Now, I'm guessing, but probably somebody lost their job. I mean, if it was me, they would have lost their job. Also, I mean, you can't talk about the State of the Union without talking about Ilhan Omar and her sidekick. I don't know what her name is, Talib. But the whole time heckling the president. That's just crazy. Why would you do that? Once again, if you don't want to hear what he has to say, or you can't keep yourself and be an adult and sit in a room and act like a mature adult and then go out in the hallway and tell all your reporters, get your little clips, whatever, don't come. Because I'll be honest, if she hadn't shown up, it probably would have been an even better speech. Because there's a couple of times Trump's actually spoke louder into the microphone so that he could drown out her irritating voice. Talib and Omar, the whole time, were doing nothing but heckling. I mean, at one point in time, while they're cheering for our United States hockey team. Go gold. Both. Men and women. Gold. Over Canada. Gold. But the men got invited to the State of the Union. Timing. They got back in town. They were the last ones to win. Trump called them in the locker room. You know, anybody that watches the news knows the story. While they were chanting USA, it actually looks like Talib is saying KKK. Now, if you feel that way about our country, pack your stuff, and the outdoor is free. We don't care. Go to Ireland, shack up with Rosie O'Donnell, grab Whoopi on your way out. It irritates me. People want to be here for the freedoms. They want to take advantage of all the good, but they don't want to take part in fixing what needs to be fixed. They want to act like spoiled children, and if they don't get their way, if they don't get the leaders that they want, if you elect someone that they don't agree with, they throw fits and they make things almost impossible to take care of. At this point, I know we can't. I know it's illegal. But Raskin, deport him. All of them. Get them all out. Now, I know we can't, and I'm just kidding. But what I'm saying is if you don't want to help fix the government, get out of it. It is not just a do what you can to make things hard for Trump because you don't want him to do things. You don't get to make those decisions. It's not your decision to make. The decision has been made. Your job is to make his job as easy as possible while taking care of your constituents. The SAVE Act is not in any way, shape, or form going to affect your constituents bad. So why would you come out and try and make it sound like it's horrible? Because it'll prevent you from cheating, because you know America don't want your stuff. So the only way you're going to put people in office is if you cheat. We're done with your cheating. We're on to your game. And the SAVE Act is more than likely going to go, hopefully. Now, that's just me guessing because they're saying, again, it's getting held up and everything. Um, and if that's the case, then, this is what Americans do. We find out who held it up and we get them out of office. It may not be now, it may be, 2, 3, 4 years, but we get them out of office and we put people in office that will do the things that Americans want. We don't cheat so that it can be now, because anything that's good is worth taking its time. We are the only country in the world that can actually make these kind of changes. Do you know why the Democrats snuck people in? Why they're trying to get them to vote? Because that's the American power. Our right to bear arms is great. I'll always say it's awesome. The First Amendment, obviously a reason it was first. But our right to vote is the best for one reason and one reason only. Without it, we lose all the others. If we don't have a vote, we don't have a say. The SAVE Act has to go through because it's not fair for people to just come over here, have been here for less than 3 years and get a chance to vote in the United States election. When I had to wait 18 years, every United States citizen has to wait 18 years. So that we're smart enough to vote, so that we know the system. Yeah, and also so we can get old enough to know what we're doing. But every person that is not a United States citizens that vote cancels out a real vote, cancels out an American's voice. This is how our country works. It starts with our vote. How we're free. It's how our forefathers planned it. And we should take advantage of it. And the first thing you do is you protect it. Protect it like we do our First and our Second Amendment. Don't let anybody mess with the vote. And one of the best ways to do that is to not federalize it, but to have a federal regulation. The only thing the federal government should be able to tell you, you must be a citizen to vote in the federal election. There's nothing wrong with the government, with our federal government telling it, "Hey, we need you to be we need you to be a citizen of the United States to vote in this election." They're not saying it now. All these states out there, like California, you want to drive yourselves in the hole. That's fine, because at some point, with our vote, we can vote no on giving your asses money. So, I mean, if you want to run your state into the ground, run it into the ground. But eventually, the other people that are paying for your federal money, eventually we're going to get sick of that shit and we're going to say no, no more. The vote is crucial. And the reason I'm saying that is because right now, with a good vote, you know what America wants. You cannot depend on any kind of media. Don't, if you're watching this, if I say anything in here, I would double check it. It's just the way the world is. There is no such thing, because I'm not a reporter. I am very biased. But I don't have to be. I'm not on the news claiming to be. I'm shooting videos for YouTube. Letting anybody who wants to see them see them. You don't have to watch. You can turn it off. If you do watch, like and subscribe. But they're biased. They're activists. Well, they were. There's supposed to be some big things going down in the entertainment or news area as far as like Paramount buying Warner Brothers and all the companies. It's just it gets complicated. And we don't have time for it in this episode. Maybe it'll be something I'll cover in another episode. Um, you got to remember when it comes time to vote, if they wouldn't stand up in the halls of Congress, what makes you think they're going to stand up for you when you need them to? If you have a Democratic senator and it's not Fetterman, you should seriously look into voting them out because they basically just told you that they're going to pander to the minority so that they can have their little clips and their little shorts and their little social media stuff. But it's not you, the citizens, they're worried about. And the only way we can change it is if we get the SAVE Act to pass and our voice is not muffled. Because if the SAVE Act is not passed, the American voice is muffled. You don't know. The person standing right behind you, if they're not a United States citizen, they shouldn't be voting and they vote against the opposite of what you vote, then they just null and voided your vote. And they had no right to. It is a privilege, not a right, to be an American. Not everybody on the planet Earth has the right to be an American. It is a privilege. They're lucky we let people in. We're awesome. We could lock the doors and just be great to ourselves, and life would probably be a hell of a lot easier. But we don't. We're one of the most charitable countries in the world. We've been the country's big freaking brother, as in we stick up for them since World War II, basically world police. I mean, look at NATO. They just now started paying. And some of them still aren't. We get taken advantage of, and then the Democrats, they want people to take advantage of us. They hate America. They are trying to change our country. They are trying to change our country into something that they feel like is great. And the great thing about our country is that we can stop them, but we have to do it as a majority. I know the last few years have gotten people confused, and you say, but wait, all the things that they pay attention to, those people aren't the majority. I mean, we'll just use this as an example: men and women's sports. I think this there's like maybe 20 or 30 of these athletes in the United States total, and it's a national issue. The reason it's a national issue is because people want to act like it is okay for a man to put on a girl swimsuit, grow his hair out long, have you call him by a feminine name, and break every record in the NCAA. That's some bullcrap. You're not a female. For anyone who even is remotely religious, God is infallible. God does not make mistakes. Now, it may look like a mistake to you, but you don't see the way he does or what he does. So don't be arrogant enough to think that you know. God is infallible. God did not make a mistake and put you in the wrong body. You need to talk to someone and they can help you work through things. But changing your body is not even something that was an option until about 20 or 30 years ago. Our country is 250 years old. And this is something 30 years ago is when it became a problem. What about what about all those people prior to that? Because I know you say, well, they kept it in the closet or whatever. No, they didn't. Or even if they did, if they kept it in the closet, they weren't trans. If they kept it in the closet, they weren't even a cross dresser. They were just gay, secretly gay. So it's arrogant for you to say no, God was wrong. Um, and technically, I don't care if you want to. If you want to do that, you're over 18. Um, at that point, there's nobody that can tell you what to do. It's your decision to make. But my problem is when you, as a society or as a teacher or anybody other than the parents of a child, a parent decides for that child everything, especially anything that would involve a doctor. What the hell is our world coming to where the school can decide? The school can't decide. If the school thinks that the parents can't decide, the school needs to turn the parents into the CPS, whatever, and let them decide if the parents are capable of making decisions for the child. And then if not, they can take the child. But it's not convert the children to what you think is right and then hide it from the parents. There's a reason this stuff's going on now and not when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, if you took me to a if you took me on a field trip, you better have a damn filled out signed permission slip. You had to. My parents had to know where I was at all times. Field trips had to be planned. It wasn't, oh, today we're going to go. No, no, no. Because you had to have a permission slip signed. Because if not, parents get upset. Parents back in my day, they handled things a little bit different. Dad'd be waiting for a principal at his car when he gets out of work. You don't mess with children. If they're not your kids, don't mess with them. You find out whose they are. If they're doing bad, if this kid walks up and smacks you in your mouth, you say, "Who's your daddy?" And then you go take it up with him. This thing of thinking, well, I know best for this person shot that. What does our world come to if people actually think that that's okay? You think it's okay. You are, I mean, you judge people. You don't know the person. You can't just say it's okay. That's what we have people that their title is judge. Usually, people call them by that outside of the courtroom because it's their title and it's an important one. So unless you are considered judge and it's on that case, don't judge. Just because a person has some hard times. And I'm not saying that. Maybe they're a bad parent. But it's not your right to judge. We have we have things that you do, procedures that you follow to take care of stuff like that. Follow the procedures. Don't make up a new one because you don't think that you're going to get the turnout that you want. Because you can't prove it's child abuse if the person just won't. Well, my mom and dad, they would never ever let me do this. Well, if it's just butcher your body before your body's fully developed, then no parent should ever say yes to that. Why would you do that? It's absolutely ridiculous. Anybody that would let anyone butcher a child, even if you are their parent, that's the only time I would say take the kid. That would be when I'd say, okay, take the kid. Take the kid. They said it was okay for them to butcher this poor child. Take the kid. But instead, once again, because of their Trump blinders, the Democrats see nothing but Trump, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. So when Trump says you shouldn't, the Democrats said, oh, yeah, it's good. It's good. If Trump says it's bad, it's got to be good. Because he can't be right. Trump blinders. They got Trump blinders on. All they see is Trump. Trump's living rent free in their heads. That's they live, eat, sleep Trump. I bet a couple of them got Trump pajamas, little Trump faces all over them. The Democrats have lost their mind. And it's not the only thing they're going to lose if they continue to do what they're doing. They're going to start losing elections. I mean, they already did. Nobody thought Trump was going to get reelected, or at least none of the Democrats thought that Trump was going to get reelected. They tried everything they could. They indicted him. They shot him. They tried to kill him. I mean, now it's up to like 3 or 4 times. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is not politics. This is spoiled children that can't accept when they lose, regroup, figure out what they did wrong, and then give it another go later. No, they throw fits and they use terms like Nazi, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Calling someone a Nazi is like calling them the devil. How are they going to be worse than that? Name one person that's alive today that can literally be as bad as Hitler, a man who tried or a man who did kill 6 million Jews. He killed 6 million people inhumanely for no reason other than he did not like who they were. He is an evil, evil person that will hopefully never be duplicated. When you call someone a name like that, there is someone out there that hears it, that believes it, and that isn't as well rounded as you are. And they don't take it as what you have to mean it as. Because, I mean, as far as I know, Trump has never, ever had a gas chamber or a little mustache. So he can't be Hitler. He's not done anything remotely close to what Hitler has done. Stop calling him that. Stop acting like that. Grow the hell up You lost. Suck it up, Buttercup. Regroup, and you better regroup well because you ain't got any leaders. What, Kamala? Oh, hey, how about you call Tim Walz? I hear today they filed impeachment in Minnesota on Governor Walz. You have no real strong people. There's no one to put in to run for president. You have no more Baracks. They're all gone. Bill Clinton, he ain't gone. He was in Congress today. He had to testify, though. So, really, as opposed to trying to stop Trump from accomplishing anything so that when you finally have done your best to prevent him from doing anything for 8 years and waste 8 years of our time, not 8 consecutive years, but 8 years, you've wasted Americans' time, not his. Do you really think that when Trump gets out of office and you guys are like, see, we didn't let him get anything done, that we're going to pat you on the back and say, way to go, killer? You just wasted 8 years of our life with Trump by standing against him for things that you know of the American people want. Just because you don't want them doesn't mean crap. That's what the vote is. So you block him at every turn. You make everything hard for him. You make it so hard he got to pass a big, beautiful bill. He's got to put it all in one. By acting like that, that is how the American people get cheated. Now, Trump didn't cheat us, but it is a great way to cause to get somebody to cheat us. By not doing your job and not thinking of the constituents and thinking of your political party, by thinking of, oh, well, the Democratic Party needs this, or we don't want Trump to win at this. I mean, literally, you guys are fighting over whether American citizens should show citizenship to vote. You got to show a driver's license to buy a bottle of alcohol. You got to have 2 driver's licenses and a social security card to shovel snow in New York. And you don't think that we should be able to say, hey, are you a United States citizen? Not only that, I'm going to make more people mad. On the census, it should ask you, are you a citizen? We need those numbers. We need to know who is and who isn't. We need to know. We, the people of America, need to know this information. And that's how you get it. And the census is coming up. And once again, like I say in every one of my videos, contact your congressman and let them know. Whatever you feel, yes or no. But with that, we're probably going to end this episode. I appreciate everybody watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, suggestions, comments. Like and subscribe. You know the deal. I appreciate you guys giving me an hour of your time. Have a great evening.